We lost the Vietnam War. We couldn't beat a third world nation. We only killed 58,000 Americans, 3.5 million Vietnamese. We lost the Iraq War. The Afghan War was the longest war in American history. And then I got blacklisted when I said the United States would lose the Afghan War. I said if Alexander the Great couldn't beat them, if the British at the height of the British Empire into the Valley of Death, Road to 600 couldn't beat them, if the Russians couldn't beat them, they're right next door, and they beat the Germans, what makes you think we're going to beat them? Why, you anti-American? How dare you say that? I said since this time, you're not going to beat the Iranians. They're very advanced scientifically, technologically, and militarily. They're the Persians. These cats have been around a long time. You're not going to get them now.
Decentralize. Decentralize. Got to realize. Don't decarbonize. Decentralize. 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 Open your eyes.
Welcome to today's featured interview here on Decentralized TV. I'm Mike Adams, the founder of Decentralized TV, joined by my co-host, Todd Pittner. Welcome, Todd. Boy, we have
Greetings.
An amazing guest coming up today. Are you ready?
An amazing recurring guest.
Yeah.
I might add.
Someone who has influenced both of us spanning many years and has taught us a lot, I would say.
Greatly.
And he's still teaching people.
He is. Nobody knows trends better than Gerald.
Yeah, that's true. And also, a lot of people don't know that he was a very accomplished martial arts instructor for self-defense martial arts. Did you know that, Todd?
I think the last interview we went into that a little bit, or maybe we did in the pre-party. But yes, I knew that.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well,
I'm not going to screw with him.
No. We honor his word. Let's just bring him on in. It's
Bring
Joe
him on.
Salenti here from trendsjournal.com. Welcome, sir. It's always an honor to have you on, and I want to say thank you for being the person you are. Thank you for being a patriotic, courageous, beautiful American and a beautiful human being. I love your contributions to our world, and I wish we had more people like you. Honestly,
It's very kind of you. Thank you so much. And I'm honored to be on with you, what you do and both what you go through, and keep doing what you do in the name of truth, or what they used to call life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I really appreciate it. And by the way, happiness is a dirty word. You're not allowed to talk about happiness anymore.
Yeah.
That was only part of the Declaration. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Go to hell. Hey, I'm in charge. I'll tell you what to do.
Well, you are burdened by having to read the news every day. And both of us, we share that burden. There are days where I'm like, screw this, man. This world, what happened? But you're burdened with that because it's part of your job. It's part of your duty to your subscribers at Trends Journal to give them the overview. But isn't it, I'm not trying to blackpill everybody, but isn't it kind of sickening where our country has ended up here, our world?
I'm heartbroken. And by the way, to give you an example, I've been at this for 46 years, been publishing the magazine since 1991. I've never worked harder in my life. And for example, the Iran war, we go to Press TV, we go to Tasman, we go to Fars News Agency, we go to IRNA, we go to ISNA, we go to Tehran Times. We want to hear everything the Iranians have to say.
Yeah.
Oh, we go to Haaretz, the Israeli, we pay for it to go to Haaretz, the Israeli newspaper, Jerusalem Post, Times of Israel, Ynet. Want to hear what the Israelis have to say. We go to DW, the German news articles. We go to Euronews. We go to DW, the French. We go to BBC. We go to The Guardian. We go to the US. We say, this is what they're saying. We give everybody's side of the story, and then we give our trends analysis and trend forecast. So you're not getting one side, you're getting the whole story. In America, you're getting one side. Again, this isn't a media. They're prostitutes. They're media whores. They get paid to put out by their corporate pimps and government whoremasters.
Yep.
And just by the facts, the 1996 Federal Communications Act, brought to you by, I did this T-shirt when he ran for office back in 1992.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was prophetic,
Wow.
huh?
This is the low-life little piece of nobody that's now worth about $130 million that gave us the Federal Communications Act in 1996 and deregulated the communications industry. Back then, there were thousands of independent TV stations, radio stations, newspapers, magazines. Nope, no more, no more. 6% control 92% of the media.
Wow.
50 years ago, excuse me, in 1980, 50 companies controlled the media, the most of the media. But now just 6, and now they just passed another law that's even to consolidate it more.
Wow.
So it's disgusting. And by the way, I used to be on Oprah, the Today Show, Good Morning America, CNN. I used to be on CNN like 4 times a month.
Yeah.
Back in the early days when Ted Turner was there. And then they sold out and this and that and everything changed. And then I got blacklisted when I said the United States would lose the Afghan war. I said, if Alexander the Great couldn't beat them, if the British at the height of the British Empire into the Valley of Death, Road to 600 couldn't beat them, if the Russians couldn't beat them and they're right next door and they beat the Germans, what makes you think we're going to beat them? Why, you anti-American? How dare you say that?
Well, but think about where we are today, Gerald, because today the United States military has proven or demonstrated that it is a paper tiger.
Yep.
We cannot control the Strait of Hormuz. We cannot control Iran. The military bases of the United States in other countries like Qatar and UAE, et cetera, cannot be defended. In fact, the U.S. military has retreated out of the region effectively. Can't even sail one naval vessel through the Strait of Hormuz. Probably will never be allowed to have any naval vessels in the Persian Gulf ever again, is my guess. And yet we're told by Trump, who one of our other guests calls orange fungus, we're told by Trump that we are winning. We're winning so much, Gerald, that we've beaten Iran 37 times. And that's a record, apparently. Like, no one has done that before in the history of military conquering. So where does that leave us?
It's one lie after another. And again, I said this, I grew up during the Vietnam War. I'm the same age as Trump. And again, we lost the Vietnam War. We couldn't beat a third world nation. We only killed 58,000 Americans, 3.5 million Vietnamese, wounded almost 300,000, seriously wounded, and messed up the minds of millions of Americans. We lost the Iraq War. The Afghan War was the longest war in American history, 20 years, cost us plantation workers of Slavelandia to pay the taxes on these wars, over trillions and trillions of dollars. No, there's no way. One of my books is Trend Tracking, far better than Megatrends Time magazine, came out in the 80s. I became a political atheist when the first Iran conflict broke out in the late 1970s.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Carter, a little peanut farmer, comes back from spending New Year's Eve with the Shah and his wife. And he said, gets off the airplane, the guy's dressed up in a costume saluting, or a helicopter. And he said, the Shah is the island of stability in the Middle East. In the Bronx, we used to say, bullshit has its own sound. This thing's going down. People had no idea, 99.999% of the people had no idea how the United States and Great Britain overthrew the democratically elected government of Mohammad Mossadegh in Iran in 1953.
Right.
Why? Because they threw out the Shah's dictator old man, put in Mossadegh, and Mossadegh said the oil in Iran does not belong to Anglo-Iranian oil, better known today as BP. Again, I write this in this book back then. Or Standard Oil, better known today as ExxonMobil. It belongs to the Iranian people. No, it doesn't. The United States, the CIA, and the what's the UK one? The
MI6.
Yeah. They overthrew the government, brought in the Savak, the secret police, that made the SS look good, torturing Iranians that opposed the Shah. It was a terrible dictatorship. So when this thing happened, I knew it was real. It was going to happen. And by the way, they did not release the telegrams coming out from Winston Churchill and Kermit Roosevelt, who was with the CIA in Iran, and who was Theodore Roosevelt's great grandson. They did not release these until about 2013. The telegrams,
Wow.
where Churchill, that fat slob, smoked a cigar and couldn't fight his way out of a paper bag, but gave us wars. Yeah, that clown. Telegrams between the two of them of how they have to overthrow the government. So going back to the war, I said since this time, you're not going to beat the Iranians. They're very advanced scientifically, technologically, and militarily. They're the Persians. These cats have been around a long time. At the height of the Roman Empire, they couldn't knock them out. You're not going to get them now. So that's where this is going. They're all lies that they're selling. This little clown, because it's a freak show, one after another. This just came out now today, and they printed it out from CNBC. And I said, looked at oil prices. Brent crude went down today because it went down 2.4%, because oil prices fell Thursday after Energy Secretary Chris Wright claimed that exports through the Strait of Hormuz are higher than many independent estimates.
It's just a complete fiction. He's just spouting whatever to manipulate the paper price.
All right.
On Taco Tuesdays.
This is from the economic update in this week's Trends Journal that went out Tuesday. First we talk about this other clown, this arrogant little slime ball worth about $700 million, our Treasury Secretary, the former Soros guy. Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Who said there's no K-shaped economy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no K-shaped economy. It's full of baloney. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer only by the facts. We talk about how oil prices went down because of the lies spewing out of that crap's mouth. Here, March 30th, Besson told Fox News the U.S. is going to retake control of the strait, and there'll be freedom of navigation. May 1st, the United States has complete control of the Strait of Hormuz. A total lie.
Complete control.
How did they get away with these lies? Where the hell is the outrage? Hey,
Yeah.
I'm vested. I'm a millionaire. You're just a little guinea from the Bronx. Don't you know who I am? I'm a member of the club. All you people get back to work. I am an official piece of crap. He keeps going on. He told Fox News on May 4th, the Iranians do not have control of the strait. We have absolute control of the strait. June 22nd. Yep. He goes on to say, Iran has committed to free and open transit in the Strait of Hormuz and to permit international atomic energy inspectors into their country. Now, let me go one more. Then we have this Chris Wright who spewed out the crap today. The Trends Journal noted on 10 March that U.S. Energy Secretary Christopher Wright posted on X that the U.S. was escorting commercial tankers in the Strait of Hormuz. All right? You ready? We go Wright, who was clearly wrong, also lying, spewed out that Iran did not have the ability to close the strait. You ready for this? Reuters reported that how much oil prices dropped. They dropped significantly on both of these times when, what's his name? Bessett said that they would go down. They dropped 6% in one day. And the other thing is there's information coming out about how the Trump team is playing the futures markets before they make these statements. So
course
go
they
on. I'm
are.
sorry to cut you off.
Of course they are. And the big question that comes out of this, Gerald, is, they can play these games. They can drain the Strategic Petroleum Reserve for a while. They can play the paper games for a while. At some point, the 3D world physical shortage of hydrocarbon molecules begins to matter. You can't escape the fact that, diesel or jet fuel are becoming increasingly scarce in the months ahead, or fertilizer, or helium, or polyethylene, or sulfur, all these other things, right? And if Besant thinks that he can wave a magic wand and pull hydrocarbons out of his ass, I mean, maybe he can, maybe he's gifted in that way, but not enough people can do that, Eventually this is going to matter, right? But when does that day come?
They're going to do everything they can to keep telling lies and rig the markets and the economy up until the midterm elections.
Yeah.
Good point.
And then after the midterm elections, they're going to ramp up this war far beyond where it is now. That's our forecast.
Prediction. There you go.
And the other thing, too, is that look who's putting out the information about the CPI numbers, the PMI numbers, the inflation stuff, all the data. It's all rigged. There's no truth in anything. They're going to do everything they can to keep jacking up the stock markets, because here's the deal. Right now, the middle class, again, week after week, we write about this, how the middle class is shrinking. The Gen Z revolution, they have no jobs. So, the social democrats, they besides not wanting to work, a lot of them, they have no future. And so you got to look at the data. Or the credit card numbers just came out, and we just reported on that. What was it? Forgotten. I lost the article here, but it's here somewhere about the how credit card numbers fell so low. The credit card debt, rather. Here, credit card debt climbs to $1.26 trillion. Oh, that clown. What's his name? Besson said it's no K-shaped economy. This is from CNBC 2 days ago. Credit card debt climbs $1.26 trillion as K-shaped divide persists, New York Fed research finds. So I guess he told the New York Fed that there's no K-shaped economy. But anyway, I'm mentioning this, the credit card debt, the foreclosures going on, one thing after another. So going back to the reality hits the streets when Wall Street goes down. There's no connection between Wall Street and Main Street, but things are always seeming good as long as Wall Street's doing fine. When Wall Street crashes, that's when the reality hits the street. You don't need any more proof than the crash in 1929, followed by the Great Depression. And this crash, by the way, is going to be in the sound of it worse than a 1929 crash when it happens.
There you
Wow.
go. Go ahead, Todd.
Yeah, Gerald, quick question. If Iran controls Hormuz and Hormuz controls oil, does that technically make Iran chairman of the Federal Reserve?
I guess it does. Again, there's no way that they're going to defeat Iran. Oh, here's, by the way, yes, there is a way.
Okay.
Israel has what they call the Samson option, SAMSON, that they have between 90 to 400 warheads, nuclear warheads. They may go nuclear and Trump may go nuclear. That's my greatest fear. And a number of other people are saying that, such as Phil Giraldi and others, former CIA cat. He's a great guy. And that's my great fear, because there's no way you're going to beat them militarily. No way, no how. Again, I've been writing about this since 1989.
I have a question, and this maybe there's certain people out there that aren't going to like this question, but I'm just going to ask it. If Trump is a puppet and Trump has a puppeteer's hand up his ass, is that puppeteer Netanyahu?
Absolutely. I believe, and a number of other people as well, again, like Phil Giraldi and others, that they have dirt on him with the Epstein files.
Okay.
And other dirt. I mean, look at the financial crap that this guy, by the way, I'll tell you a quick story. I had lunch with Donald Trump's brother, Robert, in 2017 when Trump was president. I'm up in here in Kingston, New York. This was the first capital of New York State. The British burnt it down after the Battle of Saratoga. There were more pre-Revolutionary War stone buildings here than anywhere else in America. And he had a restaurant across the river in Wassaic. The person that used to do artwork for our magazine, Robert Trump, used to buy his artwork. So he said, would you like to meet him? The guy was coming up from the city. I said, sure. Anyway, he was a very nice guy. As my Aunt Zizzy would have said, what was he like? She would have said, he'd pass in the crowd. Anyway, he goes on to tell me that after the father died, he left the family. Trump's father died. He left the family over $500 million worth of real estate. Trump is nothing more than a spoiled daddy's boy. And I'm the same age as Trump. Again, the greatest threat I used to get, or one of the great threats, you little bastard, we had enough of your shit, you're going to military school. I'll be good. I'm a teenager. I'm going to go to military school. My mother, a great cook, Italian. I like chicks, cars, sports. I'll be good. I'll be good. Trump was so narcissistic, they sent him to military school. In Cornwall, New York, which is about 30 minutes south of Kingston. Imagine being a teenager in the middle of nowhere, dressed up in a costume, time to get up, time to go to bed, eat this, do that, do this, do that. That's how narcissistic and egotistic he is. And he even said, quote, I have a big ego. You mentioned before about, I used to teach close combat. And the first thing we were taught, and by the way, you could look the guy's name up. He was the number one guy, and he used to write for the Trends Journal. May he rest in peace, Bradley Steiner. The first thing we learned in close combat, the only time your ego gets into place is when your life is on the line. That's when you have an ego. The rest of it, you're bringing yourself down. The only time you have an ego is when your life is on the line, when somebody wants to take it from you. But Trump says, I got a big ego, says it over and over again. And it's not about him fighting. He couldn't fight his way out of a paper bag if they made a paper bag that big.
Now, Gerald, you mentioned that after the midterms, you think there will be a new escalation, military escalation from the U.S. I think you're right.
Absolutely.
By the way, I think you're right, but I also suspect it will be absolutely catastrophic because Iran will just have all of this time to build up its additional defenses to manufacture more drones. Iran is proving itself to be highly capable. It's like you said, don't mess with the Persians. And if there's going to be a land invasion attempt or an island landing by U.S. troops, those troops are going to be, sad to say, absolutely slaughtered. And the conditions are so bad right now. I'm sure you've seen some of these reports of U.S. Navy sailors on the USS Abraham Lincoln. According to other analysts like Larry Johnson, there have been at least 50 suicide attempts. The sailors are trying to leap off the edge of the aircraft carrier so they can get a mental, ride home. I'm just trying to ask for your assessment, and I'm not. I know you're not a military veteran, and neither am I. But doesn't this look like some kind of a suicide mission?
It is, again, but look at all of them are. Again, there's no way you're going to defeat them. If there's a land invasion, they're going to be wiped out in seconds. You got maniacs running the show. All right, you got a little guy that was a TV clown that, hey, now I'm the Defense Department. I'm the Department of Warhead. Head shit. All right? Hey, they're total toast. Remember that crap spewing out of his mouth a couple of days after the war began in early March?
Yeah.
That little clown. Oh, we got Marco Rubio. Look at the freak show. A little boy of nothing. One little jerk. I just mentioned this Besant, this right, this wrong, it's a freak show. They don't know what they're doing. What the hell does Trump know about fighting? Again, 5-time draft dodger Trump. Oh, by the way, I was a draft dodger too. But I'm going to make this clear. I was stupid enough to believe the crap back then that if we didn't stop those Vietnamese, they're going to take over Asia and those dominoes will keep falling and they'll hit the shores of California. I actually believed that as a young kid. I just didn't go because I didn't want to get my brains blown out. So I did everything I could to beat the draft. But then I also, as I started to grow up, again, I grew up when this Iranian conflict happened, and that's when I became a political atheist. And, you know, I launched the movement to occupy peace.
Yes.
I put my money where my mouth is. But not these guys that can't fight. And again, I'll tell you another quick story. I was the assistant to the Secretary of the New York State Senate. I used to work on major political campaigns in Westchester County in the early 1970s. And I designed and instructed a course in American politics and campaign technology, how to run political campaigns. And I taught at St. John's University. And I was on the other side. I had pictures of me and Ronald Reagan when I put on a brunch for him when I was 30 years old, 2 days before he's announcing he's running against Gerald Ford for the firm that I used to work for. So I was on the other side. I've been with presidents, prime ministers, and princes. I wouldn't know what I know if I wasn't on the other side. And they are a bunch of gutless little fat-mouthed freaks that are telling people what to do. Look around.
Clearly they are. But Gerald, I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I want to connect one more dot here. If there's an attempted escalation against Iran following the midterms and that fails militarily, which is almost certain to happen, then doesn't that mean that Trump and Hegseth, they intend to continue to restrict the Strait of Hormuz all the way between now and then, and even after that, it would continue to be restricted. So all of the economic pain that we already know is coming, it's going to get worse for months to come. And Trump, every day, he lies and says, oh, the strait's open. All the ships are sailing through.
I know.
He's lying every day.
How can you get away with this? I know.
I don't know. People are watching Fox News and they've like cut their skulls open and emptied out their brains to the side, you know, and they've got nothing left in there. But he says it's open, and it's not. And it's not going to be.
Again, I just told you this guy Wright just came out, right, wrong again, lying that all the shit, the facts are wrong. What I'm telling you is right. That's exactly what he said. And what happened? Brent crude went down. Again, we've been writing about this. We've been writing about it week after week, month after month since the war began. How Trump, hey, I'm going to give you 48 hours, all right? That's over the weekend. I'm going to give you 48 hours. You don't open up that, we're going to blow you to oblivion, all right? Oh, then what happens just before the markets open on Monday? Hey, I'm going to give you another week, all right? Hey, now I'll give you another couple of weeks.
I know.
They're rigging the markets, again, by the facts. We are on the cusp of the greatest depression. This market is so overvalued, overinflated on this AI boom.
Oh yeah, clearly. But Gerald, I'm going to have to go back in time to my days in college to my economics professor, a Japanese man named Ishizawa. Loved his class. I'm going to have to tell him he had it all wrong. The supply-demand curves don't work like that. He's got it upside down. Because today, when there's no supply, prices fall. You see, that's what I mean. Right, Todd? I mean,
absolutely.
What the hell is going on in the real world?
They're rigging it. They're rigging the markets. There's no question. They're rigging the markets. They're rigging the numbers. They're going to here. Do you need any more proof that they lie? You just talking about all the lies spewing out of Trump's mouth. I'm telling you the lies spewing out of the other guy's mouth. They're a bunch of liars. We're not getting any facts.
But the markets are still believing. The traders, I should say, enough oil traders are believing the lies to still make it real in the market of spot future oil, right?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Why are they such idiots?
There's another thing that's coming out now that they're saying, and I have to look into this more. They're also saying demand is way down, and that might keep prices. And that's true because you go to the start of the year, Brent crude, which is now about $85 a barrel, went up to about 120 something when the war peaked. It was only $60 a barrel back in January because demand was shrinking. You know, the world is, most of the world is in recession, global, terrible times.
True.
You look at Germany, the third largest economy in the world. They were in a recession in 2023, 2024, and in 2025. Remember, this is the third largest economy in the world, the largest in Europe. Their economy only grew by 0.2% last year.
Wow.
Which didn't grow at all. You're looking at lower demand, and what was happening before this, again, trends are born, they grow, they mature, reach old age, and die. And tracking trends is the understanding of where we are to see how we got here. And how we got here is the global economy was going down, and the OPEC Plus were increasing their output because they needed the money. It was going down before this, oil prices. And then they spiked after the illegal war brought to us on February 28th by Netanyahu and Trump. And by the way, that's another one of my, was a cover of the Trends Journal. Two warmongers start a war that 8 billion people pay the price for, and 8 billion people can't stop two warmongers.
Right. Very true. Todd?
Yeah.
What do you make of all this, Todd?
Well, I just love your analysis, your trend analysis. Gerald, if we gave you a giant whiteboard and asked you to draw the domino chain that concerns you most today, what's domino number one, Gerald?
Well, again, the nuclear war. That's my greatest fear. These are evil people. They're killing people day after day. When I tell you my heart's broken, I mean, I got to write about this. Look what they're doing to Gaza. Could you imagine your family living there?
No.
90% of it was a beautiful place, bombed to ruins. Bombed to ruins. They killed what? There were 60,000 orphans. And they're killing them virtually every day. Now they control 70% of it. That other clown, Katz, the defense guy over there in Israel, bragging last week that they destroyed 24 ancient villages in Lebanon.
Jeez.
And blew up over 24,000 homes. Bragging about it. And again, shove your chosen people crap up you know what. The chosen are chosen. I don't want to hear it, man. I said, I'm just a little wop. What the hell makes you think you're better than anybody else? How about being chosen in the name of God that you're supposed to believe in, that doesn't believe in murder and genocide?
Amen.
And I don't want to hear your fairy tale that God told Abraham 3,500 years ago, or whoever, that this land belongs to the Jewish people. I don't want to hear that fairy tale anymore. You stole the land. They made up the damn Balfour Declaration back in what? 1917
or 17.
Yeah, here.
Yeah, they stole the land. They invaded Palestine, 1948. They just started mass murdering people, stealing their farms, and it's really never stopped. And now they want to take southern Turkey. They want to, of course, wipe out all of Lebanon. They want to take parts of Jordan, Syria, even Saudi Arabia, for that matter, right? And Egypt. Don't forget Egypt.
Yeah.
And they tell us that we are the ones with hatred? No. You mass murderers, you child murdering sons of bitches, you are the ones filled with hatred. We are the ones trying to protect humanity.
They are the Amalekites.
You know, the other thing, too, is that I said, I don't want to hear this anti-Semite crap either. Shove it. Don't want to hear a word about it. Number one, the people running Israel aren't Semites. Semites are from the Mesopotamia region. The Palestinians are Semites. These are Ashkenazi Jews.
Yep.
Ashkenazis. All right? Oh, and by the way, where's Netanyahu's son? Oh, he's hiding down there in Miami. Changed
Florida,
his name. Yeah. And number two, and three of my last four girlfriends were Jewish. 5 of my 6 Jewish friends are totally opposed to this war.
Yeah. This is not.
I don't want to hear this crap. And none of them believe the fairy tales either that they're spewing out.
That's right.
But here's the Trends Journal, Crusades 2000. We wrote this is when it was a quarterly, in the spring of 2006. You ready?
Yep.
While the seeds of Crusades 2000 had been planted in full view of the world, all those watching could have anticipated the eventual harvest. The memories of what had happened and what would occur have been fogged by rigid ideology, fanatical religiosity, patriotic fervor, government propaganda, and ulterior motives. When we first forecast Crusades 2000, we wrote the formal battle lines for the new crusade, and you said it, had been drawn when Israel was created in 1948.
Yep.
We go on about the Balfour Declaration. Regardless of what England's reasons or intentions were, self-serving or otherwise, Crusades 2000 was set in motion by the 1917 Balfour Declaration that laid the foundation for Israel. This is the quote. His Majesty's government views with favor the establishment in Palestine
Right.
of a national home for the Jewish people, and we will use our best endeavors to facilitate the achievement of this objective.
But isn't
Now-
it? Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
His Majesty's government? Shove that word majesty up your ass. I'm tired of hearing about all your royal clown crap. If you were Italian, you'd call them the mafia. Why, the sun never sets on the British Empire. We slaughter people all over the world, but we dress up in our costumes and look like Halloween freaks, and people believe our crap. Who the hell are you to say what should be going on in Palestine? Who the hell are you? Why, I'm the king. Oh, the Balfour Declaration that went to, what was the Rothschilds?
Yeah,
I am sick and tired of this royal family crap, the word dignitaries, and every one of these clowns that sits down in Congress, honorable, official. Yeah, official pieces of shit. Just to make it clear.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah, and I'm sorry to say, we have one of those in Texas named Senator Ted Cruz also.
Another little nothing of a clown.
I know.
Can you imagine that guy in a fight?
Oh. Well, he's gonna make a run for president.
All you clowns, go on, put on your costumes, go there and fight, or shut your mouth.
Yeah. isn't
Any
that the truth?
politician that votes for war, go over there and fight, or shut your mouth, go into the military.
But let me bring it back to energy, because the Israeli outpost from the Balfour Declaration has then been basically a land-based military, let's call it an FOB, forward operations base for the UK and the US ever since, right?
Yep.
Threatening, terrorizing the entire region, running assassinations of Iranian nuclear scientists, overthrowing Syria not that long ago as well, and bombing Lebanon. We know that giant explosion in the port a few years ago. We know who was behind that. I mean, it was Mossad, right? We all know that. Threatening Egypt, etc. But for the first time since 1948, Iran is pushing back credibly against this and has held its own. And I know I'm going to take a lot of shit for saying this, but isn't Iran right now one of the key forces in the world that's actually helping to defeat the Epstein empire? I mean, really?
I'm telling you, everything you said is totally true. Again, there's no way that you're going to defeat Iran. No way, no how. Again, other than nuclear. And that's my greatest concern.
Yeah. But even if that, well, I share that concern with you.
There might be a false flag event that will unite the people.
Right.
Like another 9/11. People forget. Again, in your Trends Journal, we had forecast the .com bust. And in the autumn of 1999, we said it would bust by the second quarter of 2000. Anyway, the NASDAQ was down 80%, some 80%. America was going to recession. They couldn't stand little Georgie Bush. 9/11 happens. 92% of the people, according to the Gallup poll, believe the crap spewing out of that little gutless little nobody's mouth, my daddy, a little daddy's boy. We're going to get that guy Osama bin Laden dead or alive. I'm fearing a false flag event.
Yes, a nuclear false flag event in particular.
Yep.
That's what I'm concerned about as well. And it would only, see, I share your concern, and Todd, please chime in on this too, but all it would take is one, even a tactical nuclear weapon to open Pandora's box. Because Pakistan has nukes, India has nukes, China, Russia. Some people think Iran has potential nukes that could be assembled in a day and deployed. I don't know if that's true, but that's, there are some people that say that. Todd, aren't you also concerned about, you talked about a domino effect on the whiteboard. This is Gerald's answer. One nuke sets off.
That is the
cascade.
first domino, right?
It's the domino that ends civilization, potentially. I think.
It ends the domino game.
Yeah, the dominoes are done.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead with your
By
next
the way,
question.
here was the Trends Journal, 1999, when it was
let me mention
But going back to what
trendsjournal.com.
you're saying, how about Israel launching the nuclear weapon and blaming it on somebody else?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right.
I want to plug your website, by the way, I forgot. Trendsjournal.com, and you offer a very affordable subscription for a weekly issue that people can download and review. And you've even offered a 10% discount to our audience. Thank you very much for that. And all they have to do is use discount code RANGER, and they get the 10%. Gerald, what else do you want to say about the Trends Journal subscription?
But that's a grand total of $2.50 a week.
Wow. But you know what's kind of insulting about that is that's a half a cup of Starbucks coffee a week.
It's not even half a pound of hamburger anymore.
To give the people, we do. There's no you could look on YouTube. People that subscribe to comments. There's no magazine like it. We tell you again. We give you all the facts, and then we give you our trends analysis and trend forecasts. They don't know how to do this. Again, one of my books, Trend Tracking, right? A trend track far better than Megatrends. Here, Trends 2000, international bestseller. They don't teach trend forecasting at Harvard, Princeton, Yale, Cambridge, Oxford. They don't know how to do it.
Right.
So we give our trend forecast, and that's what we're talking about right now. What's going to happen? Why? And the implications. And by the way, the markets again, it's just very important. They're being artificially propped up. A lot of people, by the way, one of the reasons you're seeing Bitcoin prices go down and crypto prices is they're gambling in the AI markets. Again, trends are born, they grow, they mature, reach old age, and die. You don't invest all your money in the infant that became public just 4 years ago. And that's what happened. And that's what is happening. You're in very deep debt. Now, we're talking about the economy going down. And by the way, we're talking a lot about energy. China. You look at the increase in EV sales as petrol prices have gone up.
Yep. Huge.
And who is the world leader in EVs? China. Solar panels, clean energy, batteries. The business of America is war. The business of China is business.
Don't forget, pharma. We also sell a lot of pharmaceuticals to poison the American people.
Yeah,
dropping bombs and popping pills, man.
Yep. Remember Fauci selling Trump selling the Operation Warp Speed jab.
Yep. Totally.
Yep. And by the way, Fauci, don't forget when you masturbate, you better sanitize your hands. And by the way, you also could get this at the Trends Journal. This is the way I feel about politicians in a country near you.
That's a very good. Okay.
Oh, is that something about Flock cameras. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, it's talking about flock cameras, right? Hey, look, it's Master Fukoff has made an
Master
appearance.
Fukoff.
Yeah, we have.
So going back to China, when Slick Willie Clinton brought them in, and this goes back to the dot-com bust coming now. I call the first dot-com bust. Get ready for dot-com bust 2.0. It's going to crash the equity markets. It's going to bring us into the greatest depression. And again, when all else fails, they take you to war. That's my fear. Before Bill Clinton brought China into the World Trade Organization, 10% of Chinese 18-year-olds went to college. Today, nearly 70%. And they're not taking courses in transgender studies. They're very advanced technologically. China is leading the world in AI. They don't report it. China's AI is advanced or more advanced than the ones of the United States, and for pennies compared to dollars.
Correct. You're 100% correct. Yeah.
They don't report it, but Mike Adams does.
I
Right.
report that. Yeah.
Right. So you know, Mike, you know how there's going to be a dot-com bust. And going back to China, there's going to be a big move toward an alternative energy.
Yep.
And that's going to have another effect on oil prices. You're going to start seeing a big shift going on over here. So when the dot-com bust happens, I believe it's going to happen probably this year, most likely in October.
Really?
Because right now people are in a vacation state of mind. They're tuned out. They're mostly tuned out most of the time anyway, but they're totally tuned out now.
What do you say?
Reality
What do you
starts
mean?
hitting the street.
What do you mean when the dot-com bust hits? Are you talking about the AI?
The current AI data center semiconductor bubble. Yeah.
So basically, yeah, because I was thinking, the internet wasn't bullshit in 2000. The valuations were, right?
Right.
And
is that the distinction that you're making with AI?
that's part of it. The other thing, if you remember, again, us older guys, stuff started happening that didn't make any sense. They started saying, and that's why we wrote this. They're saying things that don't add up. Yeah, we said that they're desensitized by a cacophony of competitors trying to stand out from a dot-com chorus. Consumers unable to remember the alphabet of dot-coms, put them together with the products they were selling, or distinguish the difference between them. They were making stuff up. And they're doing the same thing with this AI. This trend has just been born. You don't invest all your money in the infant that was born, and China's taking it over. And by the way, when the dot-com bust is going to, again, bring reality to the streets, how bad the entire economy is.
So artificial intelligence is real. Artificial valuations, however, remain highly suspect.
Yeah.
Perfectly said, Todd. And there's another thing too. Google it up. The Vanguard, State Street, and BlackRock own the value of about 88% of the S&P 500.
Yeah.
And 1% of the population in America owns 54% of the stock market. You put the 10% in at 63%, which means that people aren't into this game.
Right.
So the bigs are controlling the whole thing.
Yes.
And it's going to be, I'm telling you, this is going to be the biggest stock market crash in modern history.
Wow.
Bigger than the one in 29.
So let's talk about gold then, one of our favorite subjects, Gerald. Gold's not having a bull market. Fiat's just having a performance review. So, Gerald, central banks understand counterparty risk better than almost anyone. What do their gold purchases tell you about how they themselves view the monetary architecture that they manage?
It's hell on earth, and that's why they're buying it. But again, look why gold prices are going down. By the way, I would have never thought gold prices would have gone down as low as they have. I'm being totally honest. But the Iran war made it happen.
Right.
What did Russia sell? How much? 44. The Ukraine war, the Iran war. Russia sold what? About 44 tons of gold. Turkey selling gold. Mexico selling gold. a lot of governments are selling gold because the debt levels are increasing. They got to cover their debt. They don't have the money to do it. The economies are going down. That's just bringing gold prices down. But again, I see this here. It's in the book. I started buying gold at $166 an ounce back in the 70s. And I'm not giving financial advice, but to me, you buy it and you put it away. You buy it and you put it away. You buy it and you put it away. You buy it, you put it away. You buy it, you put it away. You buy it, put it away until you're ready to retire. So going back to gold, when the markets crash, gold price is going to skyrocket beyond the belief of what we have. And there is also going to be the death of the dollar. The gold prices are going high now because the treasury rates are high. People are still gambling in that. The dollar's strong, which it shouldn't be. The debt level, what, according to Fortune magazine, is 126 trillion, not 40 trillion. When you put in Social Security, all the government, other government expenditures. And how much is it costing to service the debt each year?
More than a trillion. As like 1.4 trillion or something.
Yep.
I think the exact figure is a shitload.
Yeah. I think that's perfectly, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And here's the other thing. Now with them coming out with these phony numbers, the guess on Wall Street, go back a month ago, was that they were going, or 2 months ago, that they were going to raise interest rates. And then it didn't. This guy, Kevin Wash, the washy boy, that's the Trump clown, that's the Fed head now.
Yep.
They're going to lower interest rates. They're going to lower interest rates to prop up the economy is our forecast. Well, and they're going to say, look, inflation's gone down. We have to prop up the economy. We have to help the American people. We have to bring down mortgage prices, mortgage rates. We want to help America. You're paying too much in your credit cards. They'll make up this stuff. So the deeper interest rates fall, the deeper the dollar falls. The deeper the dollar falls, the higher gold prices go up because precious metals are dollar-based, so it becomes cheaper for the other countries to buy them. And very important on this too is that when I talk about the rest of the country, and I was talking about who owns what, according to the data, 10% of Americans are responsible for 50% of all the spending in the country.
Wow. Okay. Can I shift gears a little bit here? This is something you
want to go.
You've covered in Trends Journal, and I want to ask you about the Trump administration launched Project Vault, which was supposed to start stockpiling these elements, rare earths, metals, gallium, tungsten, etc., things that are necessary, for military production and things like that. And then China has responded with now export sanctions targeting specific U.S. military companies, and China saying that to the whole world that any China originating metals, it could be neodymium, dysprosium, all these rare earths, any China or originating metals can never be sold to the United States if they are dual use metals. This puts the U.S. in the situation of being utterly unable to manufacture radar systems, for example, which use a large amount of gallium, or other systems that rely, magnets for actuators for robotics, for example, or EVs or motors or things like that. So Joe, what's your overall take on how China is actually starting to flex its muscle on this supply chain, and the U.S. being 25 to 30 years behind on this, right? We didn't build the energy that we should have. We didn't run the mines that we should have kept going. Now, where are we? What's your take on this?
Again, with the rare earth minerals, we've been writing about this a long time, decades. It takes about 10 years to get to your rare earth minerals to really start getting them out of the ground and making them profitable. China, again, as I said, the business of them, here, one of our lines, the 20th century was the American century, but the 21st century will be the Chinese century, because the business of America is war and the business of China is business. And again, when I talked about them, 70% are now going to college. You have a population of 1.4 billion versus a population of what, 343 million?
Yep.
You don't have to be good at math to figure this out. And again, we're writing in the magazine week after week how much Beijing is investing in AI or the rare earths and on and on and on. They're going to lead the world in this. And the United States, we became the country our founding fathers fought against. Great Britain, again, the sun never sets on the British Empire. All the wars that they launched, and what happened after World War One? It was the death of the pound because of all the wars that destroyed their country, and the dollar came in, and we're on that same trip.
Yeah,
it's going to be the death of the dollar. There's no way out of this. And again, they sold us out when Bill Clinton gave us NAFTA. Get your jobs out of here. You get cheaper work down there in Mexico. I'm getting paid off, all right? Yeah, I probably got, I can't say he did. Oh, but you could hear it. What did Goldman Sachs pay him? $300,000 an hour to talk? All right? You can hear him bullshit for free. You know, I'm telling you, they sucked the jobs out of America. Rust belts. I mean, this country was a manufacturing country of the world. Not anymore. Not anymore. Then he put China into the world. Again, the Western nations gave China all the heavy industry and high technology that they never had before when they got into the World Trade Organization 25 years ago. And look what happened when they first got in. Look at the money that Ford and General Motors and BMW and Volkswagen and all of the luxury people were making all of this, the money in China as the economy was building. Not anymore. They don't need you. They're making it on their own. You're out of here. Again, look at the way China is leading the world again in EVs, alternative energy, batteries, on and on across the board.
Let me add something to this, Gerald, and to my producers. You can bring up my screen. I just want to show our audience too that it's not just the elements; it's also graphite. So here, I just asked AI: China dominates global graphite production. 77 to 80% of worldwide production, but nearly 100% for processed battery grade graphite anodes. Now, the reason this matters, graphite is used in, let's say, military equipment, stealth bombers and things like that, and batteries, which is all about being able to have a reliable power grid infrastructure. How is it that we can't even make graphite? And the answer is what you just said, Gerald, because the Chinese engineers figured out the material science, while our people were getting, woke, blue-haired graduate degrees from, shit for brains university, right? I mean,
Very
honestly,
well put.
Right. That's why. But I mean, even graphite is not even, you don't even have to mine it. Okay. Really. It's carbon, for God's sake. I mean, the carbon's everywhere. We still can't make it. What's going on?
All right. Let's go back to I'm 4.5 hours away from Montreal if I take the thruway. My friend just went to Montreal. She took Amtrak right across the river in Rhinecliff. 10 hours each way.
Oh my gosh.
Look at the rail system in China. How fast do they go? A couple of 100 miles, 300 miles an hour? The high
very
speed
fast.
rail?
Yeah, very fast.
250 or something. Look, go take the subway in New York. It's a night in Calcutta. Right. How about the roads where you live, where I am? Boom, 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 boom. All right? You're talking about graphite. You're talking about the economy. You're talking about building up and why we don't have this or that. Because the country is being run by a bunch of little freaks called politicians. And the people behind them are the lower pieces of crap. I call them bureaucrats. These are people that can't get jobs in the real world that suck into the political system and become the most arrogant. All right? You're talking about our not being advanced in these other levels as the country is rotting in front of your eyes. Go down to New York. Don't you like to see all the homeless and everywhere around the big cities laying in the streets? Again, I'm a New York City guy. I mean, it was wild in the 70s. And you never were afraid to go out at night, even though as wild as it was. And when people were getting shot up and, shooting up and stuff, they weren't doing it in front of your eyes. But now they are.
Yeah.
It's a whole different place. The whole country's gone down. It's turned into a crap hole. We look at our rail system. Look at the roads. Look at the cities. Filth all over the place.
But Gerald, what do you have against? I mean, serious question here. What do you have against the smell of urine, pot, and shit in the streets of New York? I mean, really?
It's so
but
sad.
it's also in
Yeah,
Austin.
I'll tell you.
It's in downtown Austin too.
Austin, New York, Denver, downtown Denver.
Everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. Right.
Everywhere.
Not the country we grew up in.
No. And again, here's why. Slime ball politicians, again, I'm a political atheist. I look at things the way they are. I don't call I'm a Republican, I'm a conservative. I open your mind, be a nobody. Listen, look at things. Once upon a time, we had antitrust laws. When I was a young man, there were things called hardware stores, stationery stores, drug stores, shoe stores, clothing stores. My Aunt Grace and Uncle Dominic had a fish store in the Bronx. My Uncle Jimmy and Aunt Ann had one in Rego Park in Flushing. My Uncle Frankie and Aunt Ida had one in Jackson Heights in Queens. My Uncle Mario and Aunt Rose had one in Flushing, fish store. My Uncle Al had a butcher shop. All little middle-class people, nice little homes.
Where's the cousin that has the great pizza? You're in New York area, though.
We were in the fish business.
Okay.
Butchers.
Well, the anchovies for the pizza
They did away with the antitrust laws. Now you got Walmarts, you got Target, you got Home Depot, you got Lowe's, you got Staples. We don't need you anymore.
Yep.
Again, that's why these Gen Zs, that's another reason they don't have jobs. And it's everywhere.
Yep.
Their bigs have taken over everything. Again, talking about Slick Willie Clinton. Oh, the Glass-Steagall Act. I forgot that one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and Jimmy Carter that deregulated the airline industry. When I was a young guy, I used to started flying first class in 1974. Everybody dressed, I love the stewardesses. They were the hottest. Anyway, I'm going from Chicago to Denver, to Los Angeles, to LA rather. We were putting on a trade show. They'd roll down a roast in first class. Would you like a roast or lobster thermidor?
Right.
Jimmy Carter deregulated the airline industry. There were hundreds of airlines, Mohawk, Allegheny, on and on and on. Jimmy Carter, going back to why everything's going down and it's not going to return and how bad the country is, we're talking about the rare earth minerals and everything. He also pushed through this law of interstate banking. And I'm telling you how the bigs take over everything. Back then, the Bank of America was only in California. And then Bill Clinton made all this happen. They did away with, it was only intrastate banking. They didn't allow interstate banking. And now the bigs control everything.
Yeah.
And again, to make it clear how we pay for it, let's go back to the panic of '08. Hey, remember what happened? Yeah, you don't have a job. You had to work. Don't worry about it. You got a subprime mortgage over you. You're deep in debt. Don't worry. All right. When the crash happened, the Federal Reserve bailed out the banksters as people lost their homes, $29 trillion, according to the Levy Institute at Bard College.
Wow.
So that's the bigs getting bigger. And that's why you got to look at the whole picture. The people own nothing. Again, there was a middle class in this country when you had mom and pop stores. They're gone. You look at the data of the kids getting out of college that can't find jobs. Then you look at the data of the people that don't want to go to college and don't want a job. I don't want to work at Walmart. Could you imagine having a job in these places? My heart breaks. I don't go into these places, by the way. I stay out of them. I try not to go into. I got to go to Lowe's and Home Depot because there's no local hardware stores anymore. but I try to stay out of these other places.
Hey, Gerald, practical question here. What kind of pressure is that going to put on, families like mine? And let me just explain. I have 4 daughters. They're all graduated from college, but I have one who is 23 years old. And she spent a year teaching English in Spain, but now that canceled. And so she's back. And I'm telling you what, we're living it. It's like she graduated magna cum laude from the University of Florida.
Wow.
And she's having a difficult time finding a job that is worth a shit. So ultimately, what happens? That puts pressure on mom and dad, right? To be able to support our daughter, and we're prepared to do that, obviously. But talk about breaking your heart. I mean, AI, it seems, has taken all of the lower rungs of the ladder away from kids that are getting out that should have that first lower rung. And if you never can get a job that is even a lower rung, then how do you get to the next rung? And then what happens when all of the experts die? When we don't train anyone on a lower rung to become expert. So that's where my brain goes right now, and it's driving me insane.
Again, you look at the numbers of the people under 35 and under that have moved back home. Again, we wrote about it in the magazine.
Right.
It's in this week's Trends Journal. They have no future. Again, in its trend forecast, it's not what you like, what you want, what you wish. It's what is. Again, I'm a New Yorker, a Bronx New Yorker. That a Mondani wins New York. I read every article when he beat little Andy Cuomo, another arrogant nobody, when he beat him in the primaries for the mayoral race. And I read every article I possibly could as to the why. And the why was Gen Z. And they have no future. Hey, I'm going to give you free child care. I'm going to give you free bus rides. I'm going to go to my grocery stores. Again, not what you like, what you want, what you wish. I'm just saying the whys, why you win.
Right.
They have no future. They want this. And again, it's not only in America. You know about the cockroach party. What happened, it's in your magazine. It's in the Trends Journal. We've been writing about it week after week. This is big news. This is the most populated country in the world, India.
Mm-hmm.
They got more Gen Zs than anybody. One of the judges made fun of the Gen Zs. He said they're lazy, they're stupid cockroaches. They're lazy, they don't want to work. A guy, and again, going back to why Mondani won. Again, this is a nobody in New York City, the most populated Jewish city outside of Israel, and he's a Muslim, and he won. And again, only 34 years old, nobody ever heard of him because of Gen Z, now the cockroach party. This guy who goes to Boston University, an Indian guy, he started a party, a political party, the cockroach party, making fun of the judge. Look it up.
Wow.
In 2 months, nearly 30 million followers.
Wow.
In 2 months, 30 million.
Because people are so fed up.
They're broke.
Yeah.
And they're young. When you're young, you've got more of the spirit in you to, you're out of your mind anyway, you're just getting there. And it's serious. And they're having major protests there. They were shooting him with tear gas and trying to stop it. They wouldn't stop. They have no future. Again, the tycoons own everything. Matter of fact, there's a guy in India, and what they would call them prime ministers or presidents. Suharto was a piece of crap before him, and the other guy. This guy, he was a former military guy. He's coming out against, quote, the tycoons that own everything, and that's the world today that we live in. The rich get richer as everybody else is getting poorer. The billionaires. What did Buffett brag that he didn't? His secretary pay a higher tax rate than he does? Look at how they all beat taxes. They're this country, that country, doing this and doing that. Oh, once upon a time, there was this thing off with their heads. I wonder why that happened.
But
and that's what we're at. We're at an off with their heads thing. That's why you got to. again, when people see this, what goes, oh, they're a bunch of social democrats. No, you don't look at it like that. Look at the why. I don't care what's going, why you look at the why it's happening.
But you look at the consequence too, and this becomes a reverse domino, right? Because if they cannot find a job, I mean, when I graduated, my dad celebrated because I immediately was off the dole, right? I was going to build my future, my family, my career, because the world worked back then. Now everything is upside down. So I think what's going to happen is there's going to be families where it used to be that you would have kids that when their parents aged, that they would take care of their parents if need be, right? But now it's like those parents who have aged have to subsidize the kids that can't get a job. And I'm just thinking about that trend. What does that look like?
Yeah, it's right in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
We've
and again, when I say I don't like it, but what it is, you know, I don't want to pay for your child care. You got the kid; it's your kid. I got to pay for it. Oh yeah, but I'm going out to work. Well, that's your decision. If you want to have a kid, have a kid. If you don't want one, don't want one. I don't want to pay for it. You got it? I don't want to pay for your child care. Oh, but I have to work. You got the kid. That's your responsibility. Can you handle that?
Exactly. That's exactly right.
And by the way, the more kids you should have, the more you should pay in school taxes. I have 6 buildings up here, and I bought them because of their historic value and the seeds of democracy were here. My average school tax, $18,000 on each one of them.
Wow.
Just school tax.
Wow.
That's nuts.
And Gerald, I don't got any kids.
I would say we've arrived at the let them eat cake moment, except now it's let them eat ramen. That's where we are in America. And look, we're about to wrap this up, and I appreciate you staying a little bit long here with us, Gerald.
No, it's great being with you guys.
It's great to have you here. But I want to plug your site, trendsjournal.com. And the subscription costs what, $2.50 a week?
That's it.
That's it. If you use discount code Ranger, you'll save 10%. That's our affiliate code. Helps support our show a little bit as well. But most importantly, supports the work of Gerald and his extraordinary team of researchers and writers and so on. And I want to leave you with just something a little fun here. Gerald, this is a joke from the movie The Big Short. And Todd, play along with me. Todd, that's a very lovely lavender shirt you have there. Do they also make it for men? So that's actually a line from The Big Short. So I just want to leave you all with a little humor to brighten your day.
I self-identify.
Are you going to join the WNBA too?
As a papaya.
Yeah. Well, Gerald, anything else you want to add here? We're going to wrap this up, but it's been a pleasure.
No, my pleasure. Thank you so much. And again, you know, it's up to the people to do something. We need a new third party. And my advice to everybody, by the way, is get in the best shape you can, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. You're with the health ranger over here.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, here's another line. The older you get, the more you have to do to stay in shape. What I used to do 10 times, I do 50 times. Mm-hmm. You know, I do it 100 times, I do 125 times. And it's not like I want to do this stuff. It's like, I don't want to do it. But I'm just saying, the better shape you're in, the more you can do for humanity, because you feel better about yourself, and help those who need help. Do whatever you can. And keep your mind open. Don't call yourself a Republican, a conservative, a liberal, or a Democrat. Just keep your mind open and look at things for facts, not what you want, what you wish, what you like, what you don't like. It's just what is.
True.
Beautiful.
See the world for how it is.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Gerald. It's always an honor to have you on. Gerald Celente, everybody, just an extraordinary human being, an extraordinary American. We look forward to talking with you again. Love to have you back, maybe before the end of the year if you're up for it.
Oh, yeah, love to.
Okay. Well, you have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Gerald. Cheers.
Thank you, Todd. Ciao, ciao.
All right, there you go, everybody. The amazing Gerald Celente from Trends Journal, and we, Todd and I, will be right back after this break with the after party discussion. So stay with us. We'll be right back. If you'd like to help support us, check out all of the affiliate deals I put together for you at rangerdeals.com. And if you go there, you'll see I have selected, I've done due diligence on all of these affiliates. There's really not that many, but we have partners like Battalion Metals, co-founded by Tucker Carlson, Nessa's Organic CBDA Hemp Extract, Above Phone models that are de-Googled phones, Red Life, here's the peptide company, Limitless, Pet Mectin, and so much more, including the satellite phone store, VP.net. And for almost all of these, you can use discount code RANGER here, or sometimes it's something else like Brighteon50, but normally the discount code is RANGER, which will save you something on these deals. Now, we do earn a little bit off of these affiliate deals, but it's no additional cost to you, and it helps support our platform and our work for humanity, including our AI projects that offer free open source knowledge in multiple languages. You can check those out at brightlearn.ai and brightanswers.ai. So thank you for supporting us. Check out rangerdeals.com anytime you want to save money on really high-end products and solutions that I personally endorse. I'm Mike Adams, the Health Ranger. Thanks for watching. All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the after party discussion here, and I think when Gerald Celente is the guest, the whole show is the after party. It's like the whole show's a party,
Right. Right. Exactly.
And there are no guardrails because he's uncensored, which is great. That's what we want.
We want that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking throughout it, Mike, I was thinking Gerald's economic forecasts, and excuse my language, everyone, has two settings, I think. Bad and I fucking told you. You know what I mean? It's like he nails it, right? And I mean, he'll go back to 2000, 1999, whatever, and he will tell us that he nailed it. So we should think about that. We should appreciate what he has to say. I really learned a lot from him today.
Think about Gerald that I always appreciate, and also I resonate with his frustration in that it's kind of because you and I also share the same frustration, which is when we're talking to the world, it's like shaking them. Why can't you freaking see this?
Right.
It's so obvious. You're making a mess of things. You're not looking ahead, or bad things are incoming because there's a chain reaction. How do you not see this?
Right.
And Gerald has been such an accurate trends forecaster for so long, so many decades, that for him it's second nature.
Right.
But for a typical person, especially like a mainstream person who doesn't watch our show and doesn't know what's happening in the world, to that mainstream person, everything is a mystery.
It's a mystery.
Things happen without cause.
Or the easy go-to is it's just another conspiracy. Eye roll, those conspiratards talking again about
or
doomsday.
It's a plan truster person who says, no, it's all part of Trump's plan that's going to deliver us freedom.
Right.
I've heard that also, which is just as insane.
Yeah, yes. When he was talking, my mind, and you've just destroyed humanity, Mike, or at least people like me, because as he's talking, I'm already forming the images that you are going to create with your infographics.
Oh yeah.
Because you can just now I can just see it. You know what I mean? It's just I've seen so many of your infographics. I'm like, oh, that's going to be an infographic, right?
This interview, the transcription will be used to inspire.
Oh, I want to see that. Oh, yes, that will be great. I can't wait to see it because I kind of already have it in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, so that will be published at naturalnews.com, by the way, where I have my articles. So there'll be an article based on this interview.
Yeah.
And then there'll be an infographic at the bottom of that article. And I share those infographics on X.
Yes.
And I also, I follow Gerald's account on X, which I recommend people also follow because he posts a lot of good short video clips too from his interviews, because he does a lot of interviews.
Yeah, I wrote down a little note here. I said, Gerald warned about so many bubbles that Wall Street should start paying him royalties for the soap.
Yeah. Yeah, he has. And he's been right about them all. And
Yes.
remember what he said in this interview that really stuck with me. It's going to be the Greater Depression, far worse than 1929.
Right. Right.
And I think he's absolutely correct because, the cover-ups or the manipulations or kicking the can down the road, that has gone on for such a long period of time. There should have been corrections after the 2008 great financial crash.
Oh, yeah.
Should have been reforms in the financial system, in the debt system, but there weren't. Like nobody went to jail.
Did I hear him right that the bailouts were $37 trillion?
I think that's what he said, but that, of course, that's not what is reported publicly. But there's a lot of shenanigans behind the scenes,
Right.
money manipulation, and so on.
But that's just mind-boggling.
Well,
I mean, can't even think it.
when you think about it at this point, though, during the COVID years, they created something like almost 50% of all the money supply that has ever existed in the dollar.
Right. Yeah.
Just during a 3-year period.
Yep.
The money printing has gone so ballistic and so insane. And
Yeah.
what disturbs me is that there are so many young people, you were talking about your daughters today. And
Yeah.
they're, I'm sure, better informed than most, but a lot of young people, they don't know why they can't afford anything. They think it's because the grocery store is charging too much. No, it's because the American empire is printing too much,
I know.
stealing from you.
I know.
That's why a young couple can't afford to buy a house, even on 2 incomes often.
And we keep coming back to the mainstream people and things like that. I still hold true to my my notion that there are only 2% of us who possess the ability to critically think.
Huh?
I
Yeah,
mean,
you may be right.
right? I think it's that number, 2%. So that means there's 98% of the people out there who are just getting their downloads from the mainstream. None of them are ever going to watch our show, Mike. So if you're watching this show, you're a smart person. You really are.
Yeah, and I guess we could say since we never see those people, they are NP never see.
Yeah. Very, very good. Very good.
Right? NP never see. Like those people we never meet and we probably don't want to. And also, by the way, those NPCs are right now lining up to take the new the Myrna jabs as soon as it's available.
Gonna be a beautiful jab. We're gonna make Myrna great again.
They're celebrating
the commercial. Yeah,
they're celebrating Fauci. They're like sticking it to. Well, I mean, they're taking the jab themselves, so they're sticking it to themselves. But they're trying to protest against the unvaccinated by getting vaccinated, worshiping Fauci.
Yeah,
and the rest of us are like, you just got tricked into taking Trump's vaccine. You know what I mean? Like.
Oh my gosh!
What?
I know this is going to disappoint you, and you'll think less of me, but I still am on Facebook because of my kids and the Facebook community and my neighborhood and everything for the But there was something that interested me, and there's a woman who had just a shit ton of followers who was talking about how our side, people with critical thinking skills, that they are demonizing Fauci, and that it is so sad. And it was like, I started living in the comments, reading it, and I'm like, what retards? I mean, literally, they just all are thinking that he has saved humanity.
Wow.
With his life's work. And shame on us. Oh, it was just disgusting. And I'm thinking, get your jabs. Like, I'll give you an Uber to go to the pharmacy. All right, just hurry. I need the parking space.
It's funny. I've interviewed Chris Martenson. You know who Dr. Chris Martenson is.
Yeah.
There was a post today of one of these women like smiling and celebrating getting jabbed and loving Fauci and just celebrating the mRNA. And the headline was that like liberal women love Fauci and are taking the jab. And Dr. Chris Martenson, his comment was, I don't have a problem with this. It was like very funny comment.
Oh, that's great.
You know?
Yeah, golf clap.
Yeah,
Golf
yeah,
clap.
right.
Yeah.
And it's not that, I mean, we don't want anybody to be harmed. We want people to be awake and aware and informed. That's
Right.
the point of our show, you know?
Yes.
But there is a point where you get so sick and tired of people worshiping their own medical suicide that you're like, oh, you want to do it, just do it, you know?
Well, but that's where I think, just like when you're playing, and I don't play video games, but if you are the playing character, you know, with the controller in your hand, and you know, because you played the game before, that Godzilla is going to come down this main street and he's going to breathe fire or stamp out the two women that are in front of the bakery shop. You know, you would never try to yell at your TV to tell the women to get inside. Godzilla's coming.
Right.
It falls on deaf ears because they're NPCs, non-playing characters.
Right.
Right. And
That's
that's
a
what's
very valid
happening
point.
in this world, is that the people who we've tried, right? We've tried to speak people into critical thought, and it doesn't work. They just look at us like we are the ones who are the tards, right? And so at some point in time, you have to just accept that reality, and that's okay. Go find the other 2% of the people. That's my mission in life, the rest of my life. And that is people from this DTV audience, Mike. I will tell you that, you know, that I provide these unincorporated nonprofit associations, and we have a private Telegram group now of over 600 people who are all critical thinkers.
Yeah.
Who have made a really good decision for themselves. And it is those people, they're the ones that are just like us, right? I think I shared this before, but there was a gentleman in the group over the holidays, and he was saying, I love this group. It's all for one, and we're the one. And it was just great. So,
and it's great that this group that you're talking about, which largely consists of the people who watch this show, are the most informed, the most critical thinking people, and also the people most likely to survive whatever is coming, because it's going to be catastrophic.
Yeah.
So I want to mention 3 things here. Okay. Number 1, trendsjournal.com. I just want to plug Gerald's website one more time. Seriously, folks, for $2.50 a week is what that costs. It's a no-brainer. You can subscribe, use discount code RANGER. You'll save 10%. They give us some small percent at no extra cost to you. I don't even know what it is. It doesn't matter. But we earn a little bit, so you're helping to support this platform. So that's one thing. Second thing is, I have coming out, as I mentioned last week, I have a free course on genetic survival. And Todd, you and I are going to do a show on that. So thank you for offering that, by the way. And the course it's a life-saving course. It gives you nutritional information that will protect you from radiation fallout and vaccine fallout, spike proteins, plus will protect you and can completely prevent DNA damage caused by exposure to 5G. Even though it's non-ionizing radiation, it still causes DNA damage through the production of peroxynitrite, which is a radical, it's a highly reactive molecule that carries out DNA damage, DNA lesions, single-strand breaks, etc. That course, I will be offering that course for free at a separate website, and I'll be posting some snippets and some little outtakes on Decentralized TV, just to let people know that that's there. That's life-saving information. So, so folks, even if there's a nuclear war, which is what Gerald is very concerned with, and I don't blame him, and also our other guests are concerned, you can survive a nuclear war as long as you're not at ground zero. And I actually show you how to do it. And I will, here, like, I had this here. This is just one, clean chlorella. Chlorella has more nucleic acid in it than any other food known on Earth. So when you need to rebuild your nucleotides, nucleic acids, This is the most abundant superfood on the planet. So I cover this in the course, and
Nice.
other microalgae, spirulina and astaxanthin, and other source, like we talked about last week,
Yeah.
having blended sardines,
Yep.
sardine smoothie, yeah, which didn't gross you out for some
And
weird reason.
tell everybody what I sent you after that show, Mike. The picture of my pantry.
Oh yeah, that's right. You actually do have stacks of sardine cans or like sardine tins or whatever
Yeah.
they are, the rectangular. Yeah, that was funny. Some people stack silver. Todd stacks sardines, man.
But they're in silver cans.
Yeah, they're in silver cans. That's true. You are legit. You legitimately eat sardines.
I do.
But anyway, that's the second tool. And then the third tool is your UNA concept. So I just want people to think about this. The tool that I'm going to offer for free with the course is how to protect your biology and your genetics, your biochemistry. You can survive a nuclear war. What Todd has to share with you here with the UNA concept allows you to survive the collapse of the dollar.
Correct.
Literally, through these mechanisms. You want to talk about that? I'll bring up your site.
Yeah, my575e.com, my575e.com. If you are a W-2 earner, a 1099 earner, if you stack gold, stack silver, if you invest in crypto, if you operate an LLC, if you own property, if you have children and you're really concerned about helping them keep more of what they earn after you die, all of those are good, sound reasons to be able to just get more informed with what a unincorporated nonprofit association is. And I do my very best within the website to be able to educate you. And Mike, you'll like this. I'm going to be implementing this next week, an avatar that is going to be a concierge within the site.
Oh,
and
yeah?
kind of walk people through it. Yeah. And ultimately, I'm just telling you, I really encourage people, once you get educated within the site, if you have any additional questions, just book a private consultation with me. And I've helped so many people over the years acquire these, and most of them have moved forward after a consultation, because that's where I can give you all of the good insights. That because I mean, a lot of this, Mike, I hesitate to be able to give people all of the information just through our show or whatever, because some secret sauce that goes together with it, but it's all lawful secret sauce. Go ahead, Mike.
I'm sorry. Let me comment on that, though. You have a couple of experts that people can also do a consultation with.
That's right.
Separately. I don't want to name them here, and they have strategies, because I spent an hour on the phone with them to understand this better. And sure enough, what they laid out is so brilliant and absolutely true. And I will tell you this: one of my group of companies, one of our business entities, we were able to file the paperwork to alter the structure of that entity in exactly the way that one of your experts described.
Beautiful. Which,
at first, I thought that can't be true. And it turns out it is true. And that's not even the UNA. That's something that works with the UNA.
Exactly.
And I'm like, how did I not know this before?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's because that's not my focus. I'm not an accountant.
It's not your focus. And just like they don't teach nutrition in med school, they don't teach UNAs and these type strategies in accounting schools or law school.
That's right. They don't teach UNAs in accounting school, because accounting school is basically training to be a proxy for the IRS. I mean,
I don't know. I just want to say mic drop.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
That's exactly right.
That's right. So you're not going to get the secret sauce out of our mouths ever here on the show. You're going to get the secret sauce through the next steps. And it's mind blowing. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah. So if you want to keep more of what you earn, protect what you have, and decrease your personal liability, then a California established UNA becomes a very important part of your strategy. As important as stacking silver, gold, decentralizing a food forest, all of the, I just ordered from you, Mike, a like a first aid kit for if the nuclear shit ever hits the fan.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I
Does
did.
it include chlorella?
I actually ordered it times 4 because
good for you.
I'm gifting it to my kids too.
Oh, that's
so that
great.
They are prepped. But yeah, but that's what we're all about, Mike. We're just wanting to give people strategies to be able to help them get through maybe a very difficult next chapter. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're about to face the most difficult time of our lives.
Yeah.
And I think these months right now are the easy months.
And guess what, everyone watching? All for one, and we're the one.
Well, we will be here. This show will persist through the hard times, no matter how crazy they get.
Yep. Matter of fact, we were broadcasting at Chernobyl a week after the blast. I think it
Back in 1986.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was the early version of the show.
Yeah, that was when we Morse coded it in.
Right. Before the internet. No. Imagine, that could happen again, but not a nuclear accident, but rather a nuclear false flag.
Exactly.
Or
right.
war.
I'm more worried about that than anything.
Yeah, me too. But the good news is we know how now. I mean, think about the knowledge that we have been able to gather through all of our guests and all the research that you and I have done, all the experts that we've pulled together. We can now legitimately show people how to survive nuclear war physiologically.
Right.
How to survive vaccine shedding, how to survive dollar collapse, how to survive inflation, which is happening every day.
Yep.
How to survive the economic collapse following the collapse of energy supply chains, for example. How to actually protect and save your wealth in vehicles that work, that are recognized under law, U.S. law in particular, and that still give you access to your savings. So, look, I think we have a very valuable proposition for anybody that wants to watch this. It's like it can help you make your life much better, much more secure in every way that counts.
And we actually offer 100% money back guarantee on this show. So
this is true. There's a special form to ask for a refund on your on whatever you have not paid for the show.
But God bless the after parties. That was a direct quote from somebody who I did a consultation with this year.
Oh yeah,
this man opened it up, and I'm ready to go into my education, and he's like, Todd, all I can say is, God bless the after parties.
Hey, real quick before we wrap up this after party, I have a chromosome model here. Let me just grab it real quick.
Okay, a chromosome model.
Look at this. This is a 3D model of your double-strand DNA. Yeah, this is for the course where I'm going to be explaining this, and when I talk about like a single strand break, it would be one side. If this is like a twisted ladder, which that's kind of the shape of single strand break would be one side breaks here, like the phosphate sugar groups over here. Or a double strand break is when they both break and the whole thing is severed. And then your body has to figure out how to repair the missing pieces. And like one rung is a nucleotide, and then one pair down here is called a base pair, et cetera, et cetera. So this is kind of like an explainer model.
Well, I love that because many people are like me. I'm a very visual learner.
Yeah.
So that helps a lot. I mean, I know you were
really
talking to me about it over phone communication, and I kind of got it, but now I get it.
Yeah, it's like I can describe like what is a DNA lesion,
right?
Or what is a translocation, which would be like if I had another one of these, a translocation is when a section of this other chromosome gets copied and pasted and stuck into this one. That's a translocation. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Can that be a new personal pronoun?
Yeah. When it comes to your genetics, you definitely want to be anti-trans, it turns out, because translocations break all your shit. Like that cell is really screwed at that point. Translocations.
Right.
Or additions like insertions, like insert here, move the rest down. Also bad. Or
Wow.
deletions, snip out, take this section out and bring it up. Also bad. Because there are
But
genes
who's-
yeah.
Who's snipping those?
Well, all kinds of things are snipping. Chemical exposure, radiation
Okay.
exposure,
Okay.
hydroxyl
Now we're cooking with
radicals. I mean, there can be snippety snips. Also, repair mechanisms gone bad. They can miss-snip.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, whatever. This
That's very cool.
is
Mike.
going to show up. Actually, there's a couple of lesions on this I see right now. I'm going to have to reconnect some base pairs. But these are the kinds of sort of learning aids here that I'm trying to bring to the audience.
Love that.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that course.
It's going to be pretty wild. Let me tell you, man. I've learned things in researching and teaching the course.
I
I've
bet.
learned things that
Right.
I wish I knew 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Mind blowing.
Well, that's how you roll.
That's how it works. Okay. Well, let's wrap it up here, Todd.
Okay.
Another great, amazing show, an amazing guest. And I just want to
Yes.
remind our audience that you can catch all the other episodes at decentralize.tv. Don't miss them. There's some good ones. So
And they are all as timely today as they were when we recorded them.
that's
They're
true.
Timeless because they're not based on current events
Well, this
Most
one
of-
today is based on current events, but
and past
current
events.
events but predictions about what's coming from
Yeah.
a person who has a track record of making very accurate trends predictions.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's going to be something. All right. Well, we'll wrap it up there.
Okay, Mike.
Thank you, Todd. Have a great rest of your day. And thank all of you for watching. This is
Thank you, everyone.
decentralize.tv. Oh, sorry
Cheers.
to interrupt there.
No, I was just doing my.
I screwed up the outro there. I was talking over you. No,
no,
we'll use it. It's good.
we'll use it.
Yeah,
Hey,
we'll
it's
use
the
it.
After party.
The after party.
Goodbye, everybody.
Okay, goodbye.
We
Yeah.
love you.
Take
Cheers.
care. We're totally uncoordinated. All right. Bye.
Bye bye.